What's going on, YouTube? This is Mag Dog TV coming back with another one. So it looks like famous podcaster Colin Cowherd just ripped primetime Deion Sanders along with Shedeur Sanders for not wanting to be the backup to Lamar Jackson. We're going to talk about all that in this video and what he said in this video, so let's get to it.
Every other city I go, from Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I know. My people know it's Mad Dog TV, let's go. To every other city I go. From Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I know. My people know it's Mad Dog TV, let's go. To every other city I go. From Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I know. My people know it's Mad Dog TV, let's go.
On yesterday, primetime Deion Sanders made it known with the Kelsey brothers that Shedeur Sanders had opportunities to not only be the backup to Lamar Jackson for the Baltimore Ravens, but he could have potentially been the backup to Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles, who are the defending Super Bowl champions. Colin Cowherd just ripped primetime Deion Sanders after Deion Sanders admitting that Shedeur didn't want to be the backup to Lamar Jackson because no one learns as the backup. Colin Cowherd just pretty much showcased some or had some examples of players that was the backup to have some success. I'm going to play this video clip and let you guys hear his side of the story, and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts as we close this video.
So sometimes it takes a while for the truth to come out, for the whole story to be developed. We officially have it on why Shedeur Sanders dropped like a rock in the draft and ended up going in the 5th round with the Cleveland Browns, where he's now splitting scout team duties with Bailey Zappi. Deion Sanders admitted the Eagles and the Ravens called his son before the draft, but he didn't want to be a long-term backup. Deion is quoted as saying, hey, I never sat on the bench and learned a lot. I mean, who learned sitting on the bench? Oh, I don't know. Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Phillip Rivers behind Breeze. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith, Jalen Hurts. Oh, I just winged about 8 guys. Most are really, really good. But with Deion, it's I never. This isn't about you, primetime. Your son doesn't have primetime talent. He's an after-school special. You were a primetime talent. Okay, you're a totally different ballgame. You're projecting your talent onto your son. You suppressed a man. Think about this. So 2 great organizations said, would you like to come into our house and learn from us? Nah. And then Deion pre-draft went on and crapped on like the 4 or 5 bad teams that were interested. I mean, if your son or daughter is going to the market and you're a famous mom or dad and you say, listen, we're not going to work for any startups. And unless he's a vice president or she's a vice president, we're not working for Apple and Microsoft or Google either. Yeah, not great parenting. And this story has been undercovered because Deion's very popular in the media. But this is insane. Who learned something sitting on a bench? The best quarterback ever, Brady, sitting behind Drew Bledsoe, a total pro. Mahomes has acknowledged Alex Smith was instrumental to his growth. I mean, Lamar Jackson sat for 10 weeks behind Joe Flacco, learned the offense. Brock Purdy, Jalen Hurts. I mean, that's what Green Bay does. We draft you, you sit and learn. Who learns from the bench? I got nothing against Shedeur. I've always said this is more of a Deion issue because son worships dad, son follows dad's advice. But the idea, who learns anything on the bench? Here's a memo. I was just reading a story this morning, I think it was in the New York Times, about how college-educated kids are struggling to find jobs out of college. Let me give you a tiny bit of advice. If a great company calls and says, listen, we're going to give you kind of a semi-internship, take it. There's not many great anything out there. There are very few great companies. Ravens, Eagles are great companies. If they call and they say, you know, it's not a starter, but you can sit here and figure it, you take it. I mean, it's one thing not to want to work with a startup and move cross country. You can probably sometimes, there's a million of those, most don't work. But this story now, the truth is coming out. I mean, the Ravens Eagles said, we're interested. They're pretty good at player evaluation. And now you're splitting scout team reps with Bailey Zappi. I mean, it's this whole thing. Who learns anything on the bench? I mean, I can give you like 19 Hall of Famers.
I will admit Colin has some very good valid points when it comes to naming these guys that were backups behind starters that went off to have some success in the National Football League. But what I disagree with is the fact that none of these players that he mentioned are Shedeur Sanders. The Sanders go about their business different than everybody else. Who are we to judge primetime Deion Sanders, arguably the best football player to ever lace cleats, best athlete we ever seen? This man played in the National Football League and in the Major Baseball League in the same season. And who are we to judge him? You know, most of these people that are judging Deion Sanders never stepped foot on the football field. Let's just keep it a buck. But the most important part of this whole entire disagreement is people forget that the Sanders was given a bad deck of cards before the draft even started, simply because of Deion Sanders. They wanted to set an example to Deion Sanders. They wanted to humble the Sanders during the draft. This man was told, Shedeur Sanders was told he would have went first round, and here we are in the 5th round questioning why Deion or Shedeur Sanders wanted to do certain things. They didn't want to back up Lamar Jackson because guess what? Once we get to the 5th round and lower, the ball is in our hands now. We make the calls. We make the decisions. And that's what primetime Deion Sanders along with Shedeur Sanders did. And I have no reason to disagree with why they did what they did. Going back up Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, because you already know it's coming. There's a point in time where they're going to stink it up. Joe Flacco is already stinking it up. Nobody in their mama would believe that the Browns, led by Joe Flacco, beat the Packers. Joe Flacco threw an interception. Joe Flacco been turning the football over all season, and we all know the defense won that football game. Joe Flacco hasn't been doing anything. Dylan Gabriel is nowhere near better than Joe Flacco. Trust and believe me, I've been reacting to him all offseason. He's been throwing interceptions that the Cleveland Browns been hiding as well. Shedeur Sanders will get that opportunity to play in Cleveland. If he would have went over to Baltimore, trust and believe me, he would have been sitting for at least 10 years. They love Lamar Jackson over there, and you can see why. The man consistently make it to the playoffs. Why would you want to go and be a backup when you have opportunities to play? As a former player myself, my goal was to play, not sit behind anybody. That's just what it is. You guys can get down in the comments and let me know if you agree or disagree. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification bell. That way every time I upload a new video, you guys will see it. Until next time. Peace.